if you click this video at one point away, then please tell me what the reason was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi and welcome. I am trying to learn Biographyology, today Alexander the Great, and after we've done that we're going to do hip training. And if you participate in the hip training, then it's been at your own risk. And this is now part 2. We're going to read over all these informations again, and then we're going to try to make from memory a presentation about it. And we're going to talk here about war. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was a young Macedonian king who was one of the greatest generals in history. He built an empire stretching from Greek to India. Okay, he conquered regions from Greek to India. Alexander was born in the year 356 before Christ in Pella, capital of Macedonia. That's the first thing we want to have, at least, the part of the Greek India part. 356 born in Pella, a capital of Macedonia, that is eastern of Greek. His father, King Philip II, was a tough fighter who conquered neighboring Greek. His mother was the fiery Olympias, who told him that he was descended from Achilles, the hero of the Iliad. His father, King Philip II, conquered Greek. His mother, Olympias, told him that he was a descendant of Achilles. Achilles is one of the main protagonists, a very heroic fighter, appearing in a book story, of which some parts might be true or not. As a boy, he was tutored by the famous philosopher Aristotle. A story tells how he tamed the unrideable horse Bucephalus, which afterwards carried him as far as India. His tutor was Aristotle. He was taming an unrideable horse, Bucephalus, on which he rode up to India. Olympia's father, King Philip II, conquering Greek, telling with Achilles, 356, born in Pella. When Alexander was 20, his father was murdered by a bodyguard and he became king. Alexander quickly stamped out rebellion. When he was 20, his father was murdered and he slew down the rebellion. In 334, Alexander crossed the narrow neck of sea separating Europe from Asia with his army. Within a year, he had conquered the Persian Empire. It must be the region of Turkey. And it makes sense. The most part of Turkey is on the Asian part. If I'm right, the most part of Turkey is on the Asian part, and there's only the small part with the big city Istanbul as part on the European continent. And Macedonia is pretty much where the western part of Istanbul is today. And Greek is even more west. And now he went down to the region of Turkey, but he conquered them more. Persia is here. Turkey would be here on the map. So here and here. So it would be this with 2,000 kilometers or something. He conquered them Persia in a year. 334. 331. Alexander led his army into Egypt. Where he was made pharaoh and founded the city of Alexandria. He trekked to the desert oasis of Siva. The legend says an oracle proclaimed him son of the Greek god Zeus. Siva is the name of the oasis, founded Alexandria in Egypt, 331. 334 stepping over and conquering in a year Persia. Then 331, Egypt, Pharaoh, Siva, descendant of Zeus. In 327, or before Christ, he married the lovely Bactrian princess Roxane. We haven't read that part in the last part. An old legend says that anyone who untied a tricky knot in a town called Gordium, where the northern part of Turkey today, would conquer Asia. Alexander instantly sliced through this Gordian knot with a sword. Asia is way bigger than this, just as the comparison, but Asia is way, way bigger. Okay, he married Roxane, a Bactrian princess, whatever it means. A Bactrian princess. After capturing the city of Babylon and finishing off the Persian king, that is where in Syria, or it would be more Saudi Arabia or United Emirates, I don't know exactly what country is where, or Qatar. So he conquered Babylon, then let's say south of Syria, or Assyria at the time. And he led his army went to India, towards India, for Persia, which he already conquered probably. But when his troops became homesick and they went back, went over the boatway. In 325, Alexander had ships built and carried his army down the Indus River and returned to Babylon. Within a year, he fell ill and died. Now, here the country is missing. I'm going to say the Indus River is somewhere at the Pakistan, India, east of Afghanistan, south of Pakistan, west of India region. I don't know it exactly. A little west of India, around by Pakistan, because the Indus River went down into the Indian Ocean, and he sailed back to Babylon. In just 9 years and a series of brilliant campaigns, Alexander created a vast empire. No one knows exactly what his plans were. However, the teachings of his tutor Aristotle were important to him, and he had his own vision of different peoples living together in friendship. The key to Macedonian success was the phalanx, armored soldiers standing in tightly packed rows, bristling with long spears. Such a formation could withstand a cavalry attack, yet still move swiftly. Okay, we're over all information. Am I able to say them? Almost all. Born. His date's 346 before. Pella, it was in 334, but he went off. I don't know if it's called Bosporus in English, but Bosporus. 334, 330. There's missing in the year 333. There was a big battle, and that is missing here. That is a bit. I don't know much about the battle, but I know there was a big battle. 334 crossing, 330, but it's not so important, obviously. 331 the Egypt, sie wartet the oasis. And when not also the phalanx, and 9 years for the whole empire creating, he was 20, 356 born, 331 over. When he was 20, father murder, King Philip, Olympus' mother. Telling him with Achilles, Aristotle teacher, Backschlibus, Bucephalus is the name of a horse, Bucephalus. In Gordium, known from Turkey, or in Turkey, the Gordian knot. And he sliced it. So he did not open, he sliced it. Marrying Roxane, 327, 325 back. Babylon, Darius, it was Darius. Okay, let's start the camera and just try to say as much as possible. Alexander the Great. He lived 2,300 years ago, and he conquered with his army great areas from Macedonia down over through Syria, Babylon, Persia, Egypt, up to India. Now, he was born in the year 356 before Christ in Pella, the capital of Macedonia, that is east of Greek, at the Mediterranean Sea in the eastern part, northern eastern part. His father, King Philip, had conquered Greek, and his mother was Olympus, and she had told him that he was the descendant of Achilles. Achilles is a figure, a very heroic warrior figure from the Iliad, a book written some 100 years earlier. If it is true, the story written in the Iliad, if Achilles existed or not, is not completely clear. But she was telling him that he was the descendant of his very glorious, very, very important warrior. And now, when he was 20, his father was murdered, and he became king. and he could sustain his power. He became the fixed figure. In the year 334, he went over the Bosporus, so Macedonia is where the western part of Istanbul is today, over into today's Turkey. And when he conquered, within a year he had conquered Persia, pretty much where Iran today is. He also went in 331 to Egypt, and in Egypt he became the pharaoh. Then he founded the city Alexandria, very much at the northern part at the coast. And he went there to an oasis called Ziva, and there was someone telling him that he was a descendant of Zeus. That is a mythological religious god figure. Now he went on with his army, conquering more. In 327 he married a Bactrian princess called Roxane. Now he went on and he also conquered more to Afghanistan region today, up to Pakistan, to the Indus, up to India. When in 325 they went back. They also went to Babylon, and they were also finished off the Babylonian king, and he became also then the ruler. Up to India and then back over the seaside now, the Indus River down, pretty much where Pakistan is today, down and then over the coast back to Babylon, in the southern area of today's Syria, around that region. And there are also some other things. Now, when he came back to Babylon, within a year he fell ill and died. Now, there are some other things. One thing is his type of military tactics. He was using the phalanx. So when people had very long spears, some meters long, and good shields, and they were fighting together, and they could withstand cavalry attacks, so horse attacks, and they could very good fight with them. That was one key thing why he could conquer so much and so fast in just 9 years. He had a tutor called Aristotle, and at one incident there was a horse by Cephalus, and it was said that that horse can't be tamed, can't be ridden, but he tamed it. When Gordium, that is in the center of Turkey, pretty much, there was the Gordian knot, and it was said who can untie this knot conquers Asia. He took a sword and sliced it, according to a legend. Now, and that is according to Metzger's birth history on the page 156 and 157. I'm going to stop the camera. The horse had the name Bucephalus. I don't know what I said. I was close. That was the biographyology part. If you were here for biographyology, you can go directly to the next part of biographyology or history if you want. Then we're going to continue with biographyology or history. If you stay here and participate in the hip training, we just have 2 minutes. Wenn it's very risk. Have the feet standing together and go with the toes and with the other toes and with the heel and with the other heels to the outside. As far as you can go, and then again. But this time stay down, go to the knees. Now have the legs standing a bit wide apart, go a bit down to the knees, flex the legs and press them together. Straighten out one leg slowly. Bend it again. Straighten it out. Bend it again. To the outside, and I don't know, we don't have proper time left. Pull the leg up, so I have to shorten, but we cannot just skip exercises because we need the first ones to warm up for the later ones. But the first ones don't really make sense for the later ones. So one leg up to the outside, breathe again in, out into the middle and down. Other leg up, outside, middle and down. Leg at the outside and lift it up. Flex the foot when it's up. And other leg. Down the ground and up and flex the foot when it's up. And now stand good on one leg. Turn slowly over to that leg. Go a bit down into the knee. That can go to the knee. Turn over to the other side. Come up again. Other leg, stand good. Turn over slowly. Down, slowly over, and up. And let's do the direction, pull your leg up, arms out, go with the hands over to one side. Over. Other leg up. Next part about breathing out only. Breathe in across, please. And breathe again out. Now that was good. Hip training. I thank you very much and until next time.